Humza Malik.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The topic of my speech today is the love and kindness of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam towards others. Allah describes the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in several places in the Holy Quran. But in Surah Al-Anbiya it says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, which means, and we have not sent you but as a mercy to the whole universe. This shows that the Prophet ﷺ's distinctive quality was that he was a blessing incarnate in word and deed. From the ahadith of the beloved Prophet ﷺ, there are many examples where his excellent conduct can be seen. For instance, when the Prophet ﷺ's opponents greatly increased their persecution, his companions asked him to curse them. At this, the Prophet ﷺ replied, I have not been sent to lay a curse upon men, but to be a blessing to them. On another occasion, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was so badly stoned by his enemies that blood began to spurt from all over his body. This happened when he went to Taif. When the Prophet ﷺ tried to call the people of Taif to Islam, instead of listening to his words of wisdom, they set the street urchins upon him, who kept chasing him till nightfall. Even at that point, when he was utterly exhausted and bleeding from head to foot, all he said was, O my Lord, guide my people along the true path, as they are ignorant of the truth. His heart was filled with intense love for all humankind, irrespective of caste, creed or colour. Once he advised his companions to treat all people as their brothers and sisters. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, You are all Adam's offspring, and Adam was born of clay. All this tells us what kind of awareness he wanted to bring about in man. His mission was to show that all men and women, although they came from different regions of the world, were each other's blood brothers. A proper relationship can only be established between all human beings only if they see one another as sisters and brothers. Only then will proper feelings of love and respect prevail throughout the world. According to a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet ﷺ once said, a true believer is one with whom others feel secure, one who returns love for hatred. The Prophet ﷺ made it clear that one who would only return love for love was on a lower moral plane. We should never think that we should treat people well only if they treat us well. Instead, we should be used to being good to those who are not good to us, and to not wronging those who have harmed us. The Prophet ﷺ once borrowed some money from a Jew. After a few days, the Jew came to demand payment of his debt. The Prophet ﷺ told him that at the moment he had nothing to pay him back with. The Jew said that he wouldn't let him free until he paid him back. And so the Jew stayed there, from morning till night, holding the Prophet ﷺ captive. At that time, the Prophet ﷺ was the established ruler of Medina and could have easily taken action against him. His companions naturally wanted to rebuke the man and chase him away. But the Prophet ﷺ forbade this, saying, Allah has forbidden us to wrong anyone. The Jew continued to hold the Prophet ﷺ captive until the following morning, by which time the Jew was so moved by the Prophet ﷺ's tolerance that he embraced Islam. In the present world, everybody's thinking, taste, ability, likes and dislikes can never exactly match. For many reasons, differences do arise in this world. But then, what is the permanent solution to the problem? The solution lies in tolerance. The Prophet ﷺ's entire life served as a perfect example of this principle. He did, of course, fight for what was right. Yet, when he had to choose between two alternatives, he would always take the easier course, provided it involved no sin. No one was more careful to avoid sin than he was. The Prophet ﷺ never sought revenge on his own behalf for any wrong done to him personally. Only if Allah's commandments had been broken would he give retribution for the sake of Allah. It was such conduct which gave the Prophet ﷺ universal love and respect. Just as the beloved Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did, we too must look at everybody as human beings who deserve to be loved and respected at all events.
Ibad and Humza.